All right, Kyle Busch has joined us here in the media center, driver of the number 18 M&M's Pretzel Toyota. And Louis Frank from Reuters is going to make a quick presentation to Kyle for an award voted on by motorsports journalists. So give your attention there to Louis and Kyle.
The Driver of the Year is the oldest award in the United States, and a panel of 20 journalists and broadcasters voted Kyle for the first quarter. I know it's a little belated, but we voted. You've won this before the quarter. Yeah. Want to get you to win overall. Gives a little bigger prize, but congratulations. Thank you. And you get the bird here. All right. Looks a lot like the Pocono trophy and Tissot watch. Cool. So thanks very much.
Okay, from you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, man.
Oh, you're quite welcome. And second vote's coming up.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Louis, for doing that. Kyle, you're fourth in the standings as we come in here to Infineon, and you, what's your mindset attacking this race course?
Well, it's exciting to get back to the road courses here in 2011, and looking forward to a good weekend for us. You know, we've run well here in the past. We've won this race in 2008, I believe it was, and so no reason why we don't expect to run well here. And, you know, we had a good test a couple weeks ago with our road course cars and trying to get our program back on course last year. It seemed like we struggled a little bit, but, you know, it's just a matter of trying to get the right brake package set up with the right car and determining, you know, how aggressive you get with your setup in the heat with the way the track temp is and stuff like that during the weekend. So seems like it'll be a particularly nice weekend here in Sonoma, and you know, we look forward to the challenge here.
Sounds good. Hands in the air. Let's start with Tom, and then we'll go over here to Lindy and come and get David. Go ahead.
Hi, Kyle. Tom Jensen from Speed.com. Two questions. First, you won a couple years ago short pitting. Are we going to see a lot of that this weekend? And number two, now that you're in your fourth year with Gibbs, where do you see the strength of the team now? How good are you at this point in the season versus years past?
I think the biggest thing that we'll see here this weekend in regards to short pitting is how far guys can go on fuel. With the new fuel this year, we're all lower on our fuel mileage, so determining how far that will put us in our windows will determine all the pit stop strategy. So we're trying to make it on 2. We're not sure that we can yet. We'll find out after our first couple runs in practice and seeing what our fuel mileage is. But we may see a few guys here have to pit 3 times on Sunday, so that'll throw it all for a loop. As far as my fourth year with Joe Gibbs Racing, where our strengths are and everything, it's you know, I feel like there's a lot of strengths at Joe Gibbs Racing. There's also you know, a couple weaknesses as well too, but you know, I think just being able to put the pieces of the puzzle together throughout the whole year may be a bit of a weakness, and you could argue that, well, all the teams sort of have that. You know, Jimmy may have that, you know, the 99 may have that sometimes, but, you know, when it comes down to pressure time, whether it's the team, whether it's the driver, that seems to be our main challenge. You can look back at 2008 and say that, you know, it was all team and driver as to why we failed there. But, you know, our strengths are just being able to build really good race cars. The chassis guys and the body guys do a great job at Joe Gibbs Racing. And so I'm looking towards the summer months here where we can bring out a couple new cars again and try to run strong, get them figured out before we get to the chase and run real hard there.
Thank you. Go ahead, Lindy.
Lindy Vest from skirtsandscuffs.com. Lots of crashes and spins, bumping and grinding here at Infineon. What's your strategy going in, and is qualifying the key?
You know, there tends to be you know, a little bit of a problem sometimes with us on restarts and everything, with the double file restarts and everything for as tight as the racing gets here. So certainly there will be you know, some bumping and banging on restarts and what have you, but I would say qualifying would definitely be a bigger help and in helping you stay away from some of those instances. If you can start up top 4, top 6, you tend to have a pretty clean day. But if you're any farther back than that, it seems like it gets a little hairy, and especially towards the end of the race. I mean, everybody's trying to get everything they can. They don't give any room. They don't care who they're racing with, and they'll push you off course and do whatever they got to do for themselves. And can really hurt your day. So, you just have to be conscientious of all of that.
We'll go David, Bob, and then Wayne.
David, CaravelaNASCAR.com. Kyle, first of all, where did you guys road test?
Road Atlanta.
Is it challenging to find things that translate from test venues like that to here, given the dissimilarity, or are you actually looking for that? Or are you working on stuff like braking and hitting your points and that sort of thing?
Well, when you go test at places, you try to find a place that really helps you to a track that you're going to. The biggest thing that I found was we went to somewhere in South Carolina the year before, and I didn't like it at all. It didn't teach us anything. Anything that we learned there did nothing here. So I went to Road Atlanta a couple years ago. I think it was in 2008, and that's when we came here and won the race. So hopefully that's our biggest help. I feel like that place is closer to Watkins Glen than it is Sonoma. But, knowing what we run here at Sonoma versus what we run at Watkins Glen, or what the difference is it takes in setup, you learn what you can to make your car better at Road Atlanta for Watkins Glen, and then you just make the changes that you know to make for Sonoma. So that's kind of how we play it.
Go ahead, Bob.
Okay. Bob Padecki, Santa Rosa Press Democrat. There's a study just recently released that said you were the most frequently mentioned name discussed on the first 12 telecasts, of the season. Why do you think that is?
I couldn't tell you. The announcers must really like me. I don't know. Or I'm just good at what I do. I get TV time. But, I think it was through the first 12, 13, whatever you mentioned there, and it was a Fox broadcast. So we've run really well. We've been fast. When you run up front and you run in contention to win the races, you typically are able to get TV time, as well as just getting a lot of mentions and stuff like that. Again, due to running well, or maybe due to other circumstances. But to us, we've done a good job this year at getting a lot of coverage, and M&M's is all happy with that. So we'll just try to keep it going and get them the best coverage we can through the final 10 races and win this championship.
Wayne.
Hi, Wayne Friedman, ABC7 in San Francisco. So when a team like Red Bull leaves the sport, what's the trickle down for the rest of you?
Well, to us right now, it kind of means 2 less Toyota teams, which kind of hurts us a little bit, hurts R&D work, and hurts a little bit of what we like to work on throughout the year. It hurts the sport a little bit just because it keeps falling back into that demographic that we seem to not be able to hit, which is the 18 to 34. But it's challenging. It's challenging for for anybody out there. Ticket sales for Major League Baseball games are down, and football games were down a little bit last year and stuff like that too. So you can argue it all you want, but it's just the way it is.
We'll go Bob, Tom, and then we'll come up front on this side and take the young lady in the corner.
Yeah, one other question. When you get inside the race car, describe the passion you have for winning.
Well, I think your passion for winning stems from anything. To me, it was whenever I was playing games as a family. Monopoly. I always wanted to win. I was always a race car and felt like I could be the fastest one, but I always wanted to win. So. When you get into the race weekend and you get into race car and stuff like that, you're just working towards trying to make your car as fast as you can, hitting the marks and, making some good moves on the racetrack and just trying to keep your car in one piece. That's going to be the first thing to get you to the checker flag, and then, hopefully you can get there first. So to me, it's a passion that is like any other, and you work as hard as you can to get it, and there's no satisfaction like winning. Yeah, you could say you're obsessed with it, sure. I'd like to see us be able to win more often in the Cup Series. People are quite commentary about all of that and how I can win nationwide in truck races all day long, but Cup, it seems like I don't win as often. But 3 or 4 or 5 wins in the Cup Series is a pretty good year for anybody. So, I feel like that's pretty close. Go ahead, Tom.
Kyle, at the ovals, you hear all the time about how sensitive the chassis are, and you get a bad set of tires, or you're off half a pound on air pressure, and the handling goes completely away. Here you've got 11 or 12 turns. Is there a part of the course that you set up for, and is the car as sensitive here to minor adjustments as it is on an oval?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to be a lot more forgiving in different corners. You know, you're going to have to give up this corner in order to make your car better in that corner or something like that. So a lot of the guys, really look towards making their car good through turn 4, through and off turn 7, and then again off turn 11, getting in and off turn 11. Those are the passing zones. So you try to make your car as best as you can right there. The rest of the track, you're going to run it as best as you can, but you might give up a little bit here or there. You know, like for us, you tend to give up a little bit through the S's if it makes for better handling somewhere else, because you can't pass in the S's. You know, you're not going to get somebody that just drives up around your outside and passes you through there if you're going too slow. Certainly it's an area where those guys can catch up to you and cut a little bit of time off, but if you're exceptionally better than them in the other areas, you'll be able to drive back away from them. So there's a little bit of give and take out there, certainly, in different areas and particular points on the racetrack.
Up front.
Kelsey Olson, KSCO. Your brother had a few really nice things to say about you. What's the best advice he's given you about racing?
Oh, that's been a long time ago. I haven't gotten much lately. He kind of told me, he says, you're getting this on your own now, so you're pretty much all set. Don't worry about asking me any more questions. So that was a couple of years ago. But no, we talk a little bit, here and there. And I think the best advice he ever gave me was just always about, different racetracks, not necessarily about particular things about racing, but more just about helping me get around the racetracks. We're both different people, and he lets me do my thing, I let him do his thing, but we try to help each other out on the racetrack to make each other go faster.
Any advice for him?
No, he definitely. I actually need to ask him a couple questions about qualifying, because he seems to have figured that out here the last 3 weeks. So that would help me out, especially coming to Sonoma. We'd like to qualify well, like I said earlier, and try to stay up front and out of trouble.
In the back.
Mark Milton from Sports Zone here in town. I'm curious about postseason format. There's a lot of talk, BCS, baseball wants to expand its. Are you happy with your Sprint Cup Chase format? Does that offer the regular season a lot of tension, and do you like the way that the championship is set up and run out?
I think the end of the year, the final 10 races, may be a little bit short. It seems like you get yourself in trouble in a race or something like that where, you have a bad race and you're pretty much eliminated almost. And with this new points format, it seems like that's even more the case than it was before. So, it's a challenge. There's other sports that want to have shorter preseasons and longer seasons or whatever. I think our season's already pretty long. We go from the Super Bowl to Thanksgiving, so Tom would probably agree with me, and some of the other drivers might agree with me that we're on the road quite a bit, but we love to do it, and that's what we're here to do.
Thank you. Good luck this weekend.
All right. Thanks, guys.